On the dot. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Belated compliments of the season. I'm not going to say complications because we want to be on the positive side. Compliments of the season. Thank you very much for turning up at very short notice to this historic occasion, historic press conference that we are holding this morning. I'm sure you can see at the front here faces that you are very familiar with. But for the avoidance of doubt, I will take this opportunity to formally introduce the principals who are here and also take the opportunity to mention the political parties that they are heading or that they are representing. To my immediate left, she obviously needs no introduction, none other than Honorable Dr. Khupe, President of the MDC-T. Right in the middle of the two very well-dressed ladies is a young gentleman, smartly dressed gentleman. His name is Mr. Trust Chikohora. Trust is the chairman of CORD, the Coalition of Democrats. So he's representing CORD. Can you give him a round of applause? And to my extreme left is a veteran trade unionist who has seen it all, politician. Also a war veteran in their own right. Comrade Lucia Matiwenga, representing PDP, People's Democratic Party. A big round of applause for Nana. So I do not want to waste your time. I know that members of the Fourth Estate, your diaries are always full, especially at the beginning of the year. So when we say 11, it has to be 11. This is a very historic occasion in the sense that we are witnessing three political parties that we have deliberately referred to as progressive political parties coming together today to issue a joint press statement. It's very important that this is the beginning of the year 2019. Three different opposition political parties who have been reaching out to each other have seen it fit, necessary to formally address a joint press conference. And with your permission, I think I have to apologize for not formally introducing Ma'am Kwambo here, Ma'am Kwasha here. He is also well known. Popularly known as Comrade Mao, Nixon Nyingadzino. Comrade Nixon Nyingadzino is the Secretary General of the MDC-T. Sorry about that. hope we will not make it. And I noticed there are various other party colleagues. I don't think it will be necessary for me really to say them out by name. I can see right in the corner. I don't know why she's hiding. My sister always wants to hide in the corner, but there she is. You can see her. So, ladies and gentlemen, I was saying this is a historic occasion in the sense that these are three different political parties who are going to give a joint press statement on what we believe is a very important national discourse, national issue on dialogue, because we all agree that our country perhaps is not in the best of shape politically and socio-economically. So instead of crying and pointing fingers at one another, playing the blame game, and doing all sorts of things which are not, at the end of the day, helpful in helping the country turn the corner, what should we do to help our beloved motherland, our beloved fatherland, Zimbabwe? So I don't want to waste much of your time. I think that my brother, Trust, is going to formally present the press conference. Over to you, Trust. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Director of Operations. Actually, Dr. Khupe is going to do some opening remarks, and then I will deliver the press statement.
Okay. Thank you very much, Trust, for that. Dr. Khupe, she's going to formally give us opening remarks, and then, as Trust says, then you do the press statement. Thank you. Over to you, Doctor.
Thank you very much. Greetings to you all. A good morning to you all.
Good morning.
Why are you not responding? Are you not happy? No, thank you very much, Vice President Gutu. And I would also like to add my voice in thanking especially the media for coming at short notice. I would also like to begin by sending condolences to all those who lost their lives on the 1st of August 2018, and those who also lost their lives between the 14th and the 16th of January 2019. May their souls rest in peace. We would also like to sympathize with all those who lost their properties during the mayhem, and we pray that something happens that they are able to recover their properties. We are also meeting at a time after losing our musical icon, Dr. Oliver Mtukudzi. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Like what Obed Gutu said earlier on, we are meeting here under the banner of progressive political parties, which are represented by the Movement for Democratic Change, T, which I lead, and PDP, which is led by Honorable Lucia Matibenga, and CORD, which is represented by Trust Chikore. We, as progressive political parties, we are for progress. We want to see Zimbabwe progressing. We want to see Zimbabwe moving forward. We want Zimbabwe to return back to its former glory, that of being the jewel of Africa, that of being the breadbasket of Africa, that of being the sunshine city, that of being the envy of the whole world. And we want to see every Zimbabwean having a better life. We want the livelihoods of Zimbabweans to change. We want equal opportunities to all in regards to jobs, to health, to education, to shelter, to food. We want every Zimbabwean to enjoy a better life. Zimbabwe is a very rich country, and yet we have many people who are living in abject poverty. And as progressive political parties, we are saying no. We want to do things differently. Like what our slogan says, Chijama Itiro, Kukula Izenzo. We want to change our ways of doing things and make sure that we deliver real change to the people of Zimbabwe. We are here because of the people of Zimbabwe who have suffered for a long time. The people of Zimbabwe have gone through untold suffering for a long time. And as progressive political parties, we are saying enough is enough. Zimbabweans want a better life. And that better life can only come by if as progressive political parties, we put our minds together, we put our thoughts together. This is the reason why we are gathered here. We met progressive political parties yesterday. We had a very serious conversation on how to move this country forward. I would therefore like to take this opportunity to call upon Mr. Trust Chikore, who is going to give you a detail of what our deliberations were all about, what our conversations were all about, and what we propose as the way forward. So over to you, Mr. Trust Chikore.
Thank you, Dr. Khupe. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are laying the foundation for a broad-based national dialogue. Now we, progressive political parties, called MDC-T and PDP, having met in Harare on the 29th of January 2019, concerned about the deteriorating political and socio-economic situation in our country, aware of the deep-rooted divisions and polarization in our society, concerned about the hemorrhaging economy that has a negative effect on ordinary people's livelihoods, causing untold suffering amongst the majority of Zimbabweans. As Dr. Khupe was alluding to earlier on, we all know the pricing problems, the shortage of medicines, the bad roads, the water situation. You can name all these things. Our country is in economic turmoil. Knowing that we have to be masters of our own destiny and cognizant of the urgent need to normalize the political situation in the country, as well as rebooting the comatose economy. You know, kuti timbodirawo sugar, kuti zvimboitawo nani, zvimbonakirawo vanhu vose. Desirous of the urgent need to move away from this self-destructive trajectory, and that all forms of violence are adverse to our values and principles of Ubuntu. And at this stage, I must say that we condemn violence in all its forms, because violence does not pay. Alive to the fact that we have collectively failed as a nation to disengage from electioneering for purposes of moving the country forward. Believing that we have also collectively committed a sin of commission knowingly and unknowingly by not focusing on the process of nation building. It is now time to put the people first. Therefore, we collectively and patriotically call for a broad-based, homegrown national dialogue. As political players who have previously taken part in national elections and other critical processes, we propose that the dialogue must be all-inclusive, taking into consideration our diversity and different interest groups such as churches, labor, business, student bodies, women, the youth, vulnerable groups, political parties, amongst others. And here we note, of course, that other interest groups will be able to organize themselves accordingly for the national dialogue. But this dialogue must be time-bound, it must be output-oriented, and it must be sector-specific. Now, as political actors, we envisage that our dialogue, that is the dialogue for political actors, will include the following, amongst others. In conformity with our Constitution and considering the prevailing social, political, and economic situation, the dialogue should focus on the following. 1, turning around the economy of Zimbabwe in order to alleviate the suffering of the people. 2, full implementation of the Constitution in order to deepen our democracy. 3, observance of good governance in order to lower country risk factor for attracting both domestic and foreign direct investment. 4, finding solutions to the endemic corruption with a view to curb and eventually eliminate it in all its forms. And 5, explore solutions to ensure the full reintegration of Zimbabwe into the family of all nations with equal opportunities. We reiterate that this broad-based dialogue process is of utmost urgency, and that the people are desperately waiting for this important national process to commence in earnest. As progressive political parties, we have taken it upon ourselves to invite other political parties to engage in this important process, as well as engaging the regional and international community to assist us in reviving our economy. The international community and development partners can also assist with technical support and resources in implementing our dialogue. We will also engage the government, both as a political actor and the state, in order to help in building our country. Now is the time to move Zimbabwe forward together. We thank you.
Thank you very much, Trust Chikohora, for presenting the joint press statement. And perhaps before we have the principals take questions from the floor, I think it's important for me, with the permission of the principals, to just formally indicate that Dr. Daniel Shumba of the United Democratic Party movement has also indicated that he would have wanted to be here, but I believe because of some logistical issues, he could not make it in time. But deliberations are ongoing, and this is not just about us, the three political parties. So it's growing, and Dr. Shumba has specifically requested us to mention that he is on board, and maybe in the fullness of time, maybe there will be another press conference or press conferences as more players or parties come on board. With those few remarks, I think it's important to give the ladies and gentlemen I'm seeing here, you can see itching to ask Frank Chikohora. If you have any questions you may want to field, I don't know the principals, maybe you've arranged yourself, I don't know how you are, but you know how to do that. My task is really so are there any questions from the floor? Yes. Oh yes, Roderick. Yes. How can I forget?
My question is, what sort of template are you going to follow in terms of engaging in the national dialogue? What do you propose to be the manner in which you engage as political parties?
Okay, I think we'll take maybe 3 questions at a time. Yes, my brother.
Okay, my name is SlyMedia Tv.
Yes.
I just wanted to understand your concern to the allegation that during the shutdown, the army and the police were raping people, were raping women. So I just want to understand your position as progressive political parties.
Thank you very much. Robert.
Yes, I just want to find out, it seems everyone, the political parties, the church, even the president, is saying there's need for dialogue. So, and then what? Because it seems these are just statements. Everyone who feels that they need to say something, there's need for a dialogue. As progressive political parties, have you even extended the hand to Mnangagwa and said, can we start now, rather than just having this talk of dialogue, which is now even flooding our media? When you don't have a dialogue, you call someone and say, what do you think should be done? Is a dialogue.
When you sleep, dialogue. When you dream, dialogue.
Yes, some are now even asking, what is this animal called national dialogue?
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll take 4 then. We'll allow the principal to start.
Closely to Robert's question, we've got also the opposition leader, Nelson Chamisa. I'm sure you understand that he is leading almost one of the biggest opposition parties in Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Where do you place him in this dialogue discourse?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Principals, I think 4 at a time will be okay. We'll come back for that.
Okay.
Yes, over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I will just take the questions, and then if my colleagues want to add on something, they will be able to do so. The first one is to do with the framework of the political dialogue, political actors dialogue. As we have said in this statement, we are already engaging other political actors. Director of Ceremonies has already received communication. Just this morning, he talked about another party that has already come forward to say, you know, they are really keen. But there is fora for political dialogue to take place. We have done it before with institutions like the NPRC assisting us even in coming up with the code of conduct, you know, before the elections. We believe that such constitutional bodies can also play an important role in helping us to go through the dialogue process. And in saying that, I can also touch on the other question, the third question, in that, yes, there may have been calls for dialogue here and there, some tweets, some memos about dialogue, but we are saying now is the time to actually move forward and get into dialogue. And we are saying categorically that even government, we are engaging them to say, let us proceed with the dialogue. We are engaging other political actors. We are even engaging the regional and international community. We've even talked about seeking even technical and resource support even from the development partners. So we are now about saying enough is enough. Now is the time to proceed with the dialogue because our people cannot wait any longer.
Just to add on that, can we have a deadline? So that because this can take us to 2023, the next elections. Can we have a deadline? We want the seriousness of the political parties to say by February, by March, we could have done MDC-T. We don't want to hear this word of national dialogue without people taking steps to that dialogue. Can we have a deadline from the progressive political parties that if the government doesn't want to talk to us by this date, then there's no dialogue?
My friend, we are already doing this now. You see some parties that are already getting in touch with us, and we have said we are engaging the government. For us, we are already in the process now. But of course, as to when the process actually kicks off formally, that is not for us alone. That is for all the parties that are involved. But as progressive political parties, we have already started now. If I can move on to the issue about rape, I think in our statement, we mentioned very clearly that we condemn violence in all its forms, including what you have mentioned. And violence does not pay. And if there are any people who have done this, it should be fully investigated and they should be brought to book. But we are saying over and above that, in order to move forward, in order to move away from this vicious cycle of violence, we need to engage in this serious national dialogue so that we can create a peaceful nation where these things cannot be occurring all the time. Then the final question that we got was to do with the other actors. I think you mentioned a particular...
That doesn't in particular.
A particular
I said,
political
just to
leader.
repeat the question, I said, Nelson Chamisa leads one of the biggest opposition parties in Zimbabwe. Where do you place him in this dialogue discourse?
Yeah, our statement is very clear. We have said we want all political actors to come on board this dialogue. So I'm sure he's a political actor, and I'm sure he's covered in that regard.
Thank you. Then we're going to take the next set. Roderick, I'll start with you.
A follow-up.
Yes.
What are some of the talking points, because we have here in the discourse that's going on amongst political parties, there is a particular political party which is maintaining the issue of the legitimacy of the just election being still in doubt. Government maintains that's a foregone either. We should be talking of building the economy and going forward. So can you just streamline maybe 3 or 4 key talking points that you are going to be engaging on as part of that national dialogue?
Thank you, Roderick. Yes, my brother.
Thank you. My question is to the sincerity, almost a follow-up to Robert's. Sincerity of these dialogues. After the elections, we saw President Emerson Mnangagwa declaring that he was open to some sort of dialogue. Over the past months, we have heard and seen MDC President Nelson Chamisa also saying that he is inviting other political parties to dialogues. And now today you are also inviting other political parties to dialogue. So is there any day who get, especially you 3 guys, rather than inviting others, you sit down and talk, or each of you is inviting the other and saying, you should come and you should come?
Thank you very much. Yes, brother.
Okay. Thank you. My name is Osaya, independent media practitioner.
Osaya, yes, Osaya.
Yes,
Remind me of Osaya Chipanga.
Thank
yes,
you. I'm going to ask a question which comes maybe in about 3 parts. I just want to exhaust everything. Thank you so much for this initiative, the 3 of you called PDP and MDC-T. It is a progressive move, but I have a question. In this initiative of yours, to me it looks a very political one. And yeah, in people's minds, it actually invokes memories of the GNU of the past. It tells us that probably some people here are looking for ways to sneak in and get some positioning in there. Because yes, I know the talk of dialogue has always been there. President Mnangagwa made it clear after elections that my arms are wide open, my door is open for dialogue. And here you are. Almost all of you now, the political parties in Zimbabwe, you agree to the need for dialogue. But it's not moving. Why? I hear some political players placing conditionalities for this dialogue to kickstart. And I thought it's being greedy of you political leaders and players that you want the biggest cake, each one of you. You don't sound sincere to me and to most Zimbabweans. How about this? The civic society, they are non-political players. Already you are jumping the gun, you are elbowing them out, and their voice will never be heard. When you are talking of national dialogue, when it's only political parties at play, I feel like you are up for positions of power. How about taking on board the NPRC? What's their role? The National Peace and Reconciliation Commission, what's their role? I think they would be the most appropriate conveners to this because they are a non-interested party. So I wanted to consider this as seriously as political players. Are you not elbowing the civic society and the general population out of this? Is it not a stampede for power and positions? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very incisive question. Frank.
Yeah. I just want to find out who is going to facilitate proposed national dialogue. If you, by any chance, found somebody who's going to broker the negotiations. And I heard you talking about engaging the international community. In what sense? Is it in the sense of finding a facilitator to facilitate the proposed negotiations, especially when we're having a situation where the president himself has indicated that he's open to dialogue, and everyone is saying the same. It appears there's no one who's facilitating or coordinating anything. And I think this question has been asked several times, and I want a very clear answer on that one.
Thank you. Okay. The 4th question.
Okay, thank you very much. My first question is, are we not seeing the birth of a new political party in this setup?
The birth of a new political party?
Yes. Yeah, then the other one is, what's your take on a transitional government? A transitional government.
I saw that coming, didn't I? Okay. Thank you very much. I think we'll get the answers so that we don't crowd the questions. Over to you, principals.
Okay, thank you. This round you had many of
Yeah,
them.
many of them,
But,
yes.
but most of them are linked. So
Yeah.
we can tackle them together. The question of someone asked about legitimacy issues.
Yeah, it was Roderick about legitimacy.
Yeah. You talked about you know, for us, we are not talking about negotiations here. We are talking about national dialogue. So, for the avoidance of doubt, we have no conditionalities whatsoever. We are just saying, let's get on with the national dialogue. If there's anything to talk about, we will talk about it in the national dialogue. That is where we are coming from. And then again, somebody talked about GNU, another one called transitional government. You know, somebody talked about us wanting cakes. You know, yeah. No, again, to make it very clear, we are not looking for cakes. You see, we are not in it for a GNU. In fact, if you read the statement that we have given you carefully, the national dialogue that we envisage is about improving the livelihoods of the people of Zimbabwe. It's about putting our heads together and saying, how can we move this country forward? Some may be in government, some may be outside government. Some may be other political actors, some may even be civil society, like what you are saying. Some may be churches, some may be youths, vulnerable groups. We have said it is there in the statement. Everybody has got a part to play. So it's not about jobs for the boys. We are not interested. We are interested in the people of Zimbabwe and all-inclusive dialogue. No one left behind. And so the other one was to do with international community engagement. Yes, we will engage them as political actors and as Zimbabweans who want their country to be re-engaged in the international community as an equal player with equal opportunities. Because that also goes to the core of us being able to move forward as a country. So it's not just for the government alone or President Mnangagwa alone. It's incumbent upon all of us, you know, to market our country the best way we can for all of us benefit. And this is what we are talking about. And somebody, members of a new political party, as of today, we are progressive political parties whose names we have given, MDC-T, Code, and PDP. That is what is there today. And we are progressive political parties who are calling for us to put our heads together, even with other political actors who are not here to move our country forward. When we want to make one political party, we will call you.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Mr. Chikore.
And then the NPRC, I actually mentioned that we want actors such as the NPRC to play an active role in this regard. And then I think as we proceed, we can iron out issues of facilitation with the other actors. I think I'll allow colleagues to come in. Yeah.
As progressive political parties, our preoccupation is not power. Our preoccupation is a national dialogue, where as one nation, where as one people, where as one Zimbabwe, we come together. We start singing from the same hymn book. We start speaking the same language for the sake of moving this country forward. All we are interested in is a better life for every Zimbabwean. They spoke about violence. We condemn it in all its forms. And the only way to deal with this endemic, creature is to sit down and dialogue around it. We must look at the root causes of this violence. Violence back dates to the colonial era, all the elections, 2000, 2002, 2008. Harvest House was turned into a refugee camp. And we are saying, let us deal with the underlying issues. Let us deal with all these issues and come up with permanent solutions to our problems. And this can only happen through dialogue, where we are coming together as Zimbabweans, as one people, as one nation, as one Zimbabwe. This is all we are talking about. We also alluded to the fact that we are going to be engaging the diplomatic community. We are going to be engaging the regional and international community. We are also going to be engaging government, both as a political actor and as the state, so that we deal with these issues. And this we will do as soon as possible, ASAP, because we want Zimbabwe to be moved forward. We cannot sit down and fold our hands when we watch, Zimbabwe burning. We will not do that. We as Zimbabweans, must put our heads together, put our thoughts together, put our hands together, hold each other and say, what kind of a Zimbabwe do we want? We want a Zimbabwe where everyone is going to have a better life. And this is who we are. If we are given an opportunity, I think we will be able to deliver real change to every Zimbabwean.
Thank you very much, Dr. Khupe. Maimati.
Not very much to say, except to say, in response to one of the questions which was talking about what are the talking points, it would be erroneous for us to be prescriptive about what the dialogue should be about. If it is all-inclusive, it should be a process that brings together people so that they can discuss what they would want to see on the agenda, for example. If you call the women, what are the issues for the women? If you then have all the various sectors, they will put their issues on the table to comprise an agenda. If we become prescriptive, we are likely to falter. And I just wanted to also say that we would be so happy to be political parties that lead people who have got their dignity restored through restoring their ability to have decent lives. You don't want a situation that you have now, that even if a voter notices that the person they voted for is making errors, they cannot put them to account because they came to them with a 2-kilogram packet of rice during elections. We want the people of Zimbabwe's dignity to be restored so that they can make informed choices from a happy life, from a life where they can send their children to school. And we know very well, it is not about the designated position that you get, that you are minister, so and so. We believe from the progressive parties that we can provide leadership from where we are at.
Thank you very much, Maimati.
Just a quick one.
Oh, sorry, maybe before I give you an opportunity.
It was the sincerity one where each political party is inviting each and every political
Or where you say everyone is inviting everyone.
Yes, yes. So
X inviting Y, Y inviting X, A inviting B. Yeah, maybe.
No, we are not just inviting, we are actually going to see people. If we say we are going to engage government, we will actually engage the government. We will not tweet, we will not make memos or whatever, we will actually do these things.
Okay, thank you very much. And the third.
Just a quick one, sir.
Yes.
To Dr. Khupe, you are a breakaway from the Nelson Chamisa-led MDC. Will you be happy to sit side by side with Chamisa talking in this dialogue?
First and foremost, I am not a breakaway to the whatever you're referring to. I am the original MDC, the legitimately elected vice president and president at the Extraordinary Congress in April 21. So for us, we want to bring everybody together. This is why we are saying we want an all-inclusive dialogue which is not going to leave everyone behind. Let's come together as Zimbabwe. Please, Zimbabweans, let us be one and speak with one voice. Let us build that confidence which has been taken away from us, and that can only happen if we come together. So I don't have any problems in dialoguing with anyone, because for me, it's not about power. For me, it is about moving this country forward. It is about the 15 million people in this country, not individuals. And we must run away from individualized issues. This country does not belong to anyone. It belongs to all of us as Zimbabweans. Yes. And therefore, we must take it upon ourselves as Zimbabweans to make it work, to make things happen. And this is why some of us are very passionate about these issues, because I want to see everyone happy in this country.
Yes. Gentlemen, are there any other questions? Yes, my brother. What's your name, brother? I want to know your name.
I'm Love More Chasi.
Love More?
Yes.
Yes, there's Love More Majaiva. Yes, Love More.
Considering the numbers that are affiliated to your parties separately, do you think you've got the ability to convince the other side of the political divide to buy into your idea, the idea of the progressive parties coming together?
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Yes. And this is the one step we have started today. And we believe that we are going to be able to convince everyone. And it is not just about convincing people. It is about people who are concerned about their country. So we want concerned political parties, concerned citizens to come and say enough is enough. Let us put our differences aside. Let us focus on moving our country forward.
Thank you very much. Are there any other questions? I noticed that colleagues from the fourth estate exhausted all their questions. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take this opportunity to once again thank you for turning up at very short notice and for asking very probing questions. I think in my second life I want to be a journalist. For asking very probing questions, and we hope that as we proceed with this process, there will be more interaction with you guys, members of the fourth estate. Once again, thank you very much.